Welcome to Dynamite Delight. And there's something that needs to be stated before I get started, and I believe this will become a tradition if I don't forget it, and you guys don't make me forget it. Because this is what I got to say. Listen carefully, ladies and gentlemen. AEW, Impact Wrestling, fuck you. Fuck you. No Moose, no Eddie Edwards, no Sami Callihan, no Rich Swann. I know people will say, dude, they just didn't want to do it. Who gives a fuck? Any of the AEW fans and any of the Impact fans were offended that they did all this shit and you don't see nothing from Impact here? Hell, you didn't even see a Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, just Don Callis. Fuck you, Impact. And fuck you, AEW. And understand, when I do my Impact review, I'm probably going to say the same thing. Taking away from how the show really acted, I'm going to say this until they get it right. Or until the partnership between Impact Wrestling and AEW has been severed. Because I said this already to many of my subscribers. If we don't see anything of Impact on AEW, I was going to shit on them both. I just did. From now on, that's what I'm going to do. And because I had to do this again because I got really angry. If anyone, and understand this from my regular subscribers, anyone new, and understand, I don't mean no disrespect. If you do tell me, dude, you need to calm down, relax, try to enjoy it, forget about it, or maybe you shouldn't watch this. Why are you watching wrestling being so angry? I say this to you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And you know where that came from? Just in case no one understands where that line came from. That came from the Old West in the 1900s, which is the 1870s, 80s, and 90s, and the early 20th century, which is the 1900s, 1920s, 30s, when they still had an Old West. Old West really stopped around 1906 to 1910, when there used to be a real Old West, and then it was gone. That's when they finally started putting highways and long freeways and everything, just the beginnings of it, the bare minimum. But I tell you, that's where the line came from, and fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Because if you don't like it, that's not my problem. I warned everybody. If Impact doesn't show anything on AEW, and we keep getting the same stupid shit on Impact and AEW, I'm going to blame them both. Because this is both their problems, not one company, both. And I know this is taking longer than it should be, but I want to make this clear because I'm going to keep saying this until either the partnership breaks or we actually see Impact stars other than Luke and Carl and Don on AEW. That's what I'm going to say. That's what it's going to be. Now, Chris, I got to say this. Christian Cage versus Matt Sydal. Was it a good match? Damn, yes, it was. It was a damn good match. It wasn't the greatest match I've ever seen, but it was a damn good match for both of them. In the end, Matt Sydal wins. And then we get Team Taz coming out. Pretty much trying to screw over Christian Cage as well as Matt Sydal. And eventually you got the Hangman Adam Page coming out, wanting to sell something between him and the Brian Cage. Really? I don't know what's the point of him coming to him other than to fill in time, because they're not going to do... Adam Page and Kenny Omega will eventually happen, but it ain't happening now. That's why. Next, we got The Acclaim versus Moxley and Kingston, as I call him. The one thing that was interesting, and it wasn't about... let me put it like this. When you see Moxley and Kingston do their promo segment, it's what you normally see. It's what really happened before the match that made things interesting, because Caster started rapping, and basically when he rapped, he included you don't say something about Moxley's wife, whose podcast is called The Oral Session with Renee Young. He brought that up saying, your wife started contacting me because she wanted to have an oral session. You know how that goes towards somebody. It can easily be misconstrued. In this case, it wasn't misconstrued because he was rapping like she going to be sucking his dick. And the moment he got into that ring, that was that. That's when the match started. And the Acclaim got that ass whooped. They both got choked the fuck out. That's it. It was done. They kept getting beat up and getting choked out left, right, and center until it was done. Finished. Moxley as well as Kingston wanted to really make a statement. Now they're number one. There you go. Okay, moving on. We got Jade Cargill again being approached by the wrestling lawyer saying that you don't need to worry about me joining me. I want to join you. I want to make sure you're treated bad. Why are you not with JR? Why are you with Tony Schiavone? And she's making very clear that no one controls her, but she is considering him even though he did get into her promo segment. So there you go with that. I had to get that over with. Now, the Inner Circle as well as the Pinnacle vid package for both of them. The Inner Circle's vid package in the ring was very good. There was no Santana. He's still out. They made it very clear. Since the Pinnacle has decided they'll do it, they say, of course we're going to do it. Ortiz spoke well. You definitely had very good talking from Sammy Guevara. And Hager does the best he can. He's not really good at talking, but he did relay what he believed. And of course, Chris Jericho trying hard to sell the botched fall off of the ring. Look, guys, I know I didn't say anything about this. But I'm going to say this. Was the falling off of the Blood and Guts cage bad? Yes, because simply put, the cardboard didn't look that good. But Chris did mess up his elbow. He dislocated when he fell. There ain't no lie, that actually happened. He actually did get hurt. But when it comes down to it, him trying his best to sell it, fine. He had to try and sell it. And if you think they messed up with the mats, of course they did. They're only a year old. They don't normally do stuff like that like WWE. They try to hide it as much as they can. They screwed up, so what? Okay? I know they screwed up. Everybody else know they screwed up. They screwed up on how the fake... Calm down. I've seen several people, including JD, get angry. And just Alex, like, ugh. The only one that didn't get angry was JD's friend, what is it? I forgot his name. Oh my goodness, I forgot his name. I'm blanking. Jerry? No, damn it. I can't remember his friend's name. I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm just going to leave it. But he's the only one that didn't get angry. And I'm in the same boat. Look, they screwed up. Fine. But it still relayed what it needed to be. Okay? That's the way it was. That's how it is. Fine. For me personally, yes, they did screw up. And you can notice it. But at least no one got hurt too badly. And that's all that matters to me. But you see Chris trying to sell that spot. And the people there, including the wrestlers, tried to help him. But honestly, not everyone is going to agree with it. And fine. That's all right. Now, the Pinnacle. The one thing I enjoyed was Shawn Spears. It wasn't that Wheeler or not Wheeler. It was Dash Hardwood. He wanted to show that they should be doing what they want to do. Everyone should be going after a title, but they can't due to the fact that the Inner Circle's in their way. You're always going to get MJF showing how angry he is. How he wants Chris to understand that he wants his spot. But the person that's felt the nicest was Shawn Spears because he didn't talk. He was just getting irritable because he couldn't drink. And I want to know when is Peyton Royce going to show up? I know it's going to be about a 3-month period before she could be free enough to go anywhere she wants. Because she still is released from WWE. And it'll probably be another month or two before she's free to do whatever she wants. Maybe she will go to not NWA, but AEW. I don't know. Maybe she'll go to NWA. But I do believe she'll go to AEW and work with her husband. There's nothing wrong with it. Working with a man's nothing wrong. But seeing that he grabbed the waiter, grabbed him by his head and said, I want my liquor. And he breaks the glass of the liquor bottle. But everyone's telling him, chill, relax. I enjoyed that part more than I enjoyed when they were talking, because it wasn't bad they talked. But having a moment of showing aggression, I think, was good for me personally. Now, SCU. We don't know what's going to happen with Chris Daniels. I think will be working in the back from now on. That's what I think. He'll only once in a while come out because he is a talent relations in the back. That's what he does, talent relations. I don't think he does talent relations. He basically works with the talent in the back already. He works in the back. He helps production. So going in the ring is very rare for him. And I think it'll be even more rare when he works in the back. But Frankie Kazarian made it very clear he wants the Elite on a platter. He wants to cut their heads off, put it on a platter, and present it to his best friend who no longer he can wrestle with, and that's Christopher Daniels. He made it very clear. As the word of Frankie Kazarian, I'm coming for you all. In a circle, not in a circle, but the Elite. I'm coming. Flat out, that's what he made clear. And I enjoy that. I just want to see him go after the TNT title because I believe he deserves it. Now we got Pac. He's going to have his moment when Double or Nothing happens. And leading into that, also, he didn't mention anything about Orange Cassidy because that's still a question, because you got Don and you got the wonderful Kenny Omega coming to a Cassidy because his shoulder's screwed up. And they're basically saying, dude, you're hurt. Here, why don't you sign this saying, I'm waiving my moment at Double or Nothing. I can't do it. But I'll do it another time. I'll wrestle with you guys another time. But it won't be for the title. But you can have a wrestling match with me. He tears up the first contract that they wrote to try and get him to let that go. They tried again. They hand him another contract. And you hear Kenny basically saying this. Look, that powerbomb you got from Pac was bad. It messed you up, you can see. But if I do a one-winged angel, you're done. You could even die. I want to see you have a prosperous life, having a wife and kids. Why don't you sign this other contract? We got a copy here. Think about it. So they're going to do it next week. Will he do it? And before the entire thing got started, you know who went to get in the face of the Kenny Omega before anyone else? Not Trey. No, not Trey. Sorry, not Trey. Not Trent. Not Chuck. It was Statlander. I wonder if Statlander and the man, the shaded one, the Orange Cassidy has a woman that's in love with him. Do you think they're going to go there? I have this weird feeling they're going to eventually do Orange Cassidy and Statlander having a relationship, kind of like Penelope Forbes as well as Sabian. Now, of course, those two are actually married. I don't know about those two wanting to do a fake mock marriage, but it looks like they're going there. That's how it feels to me. Okay. Sheeta had a quick match against Rebel. This was just to get her done. And honestly, I love me some Rebel. Rebel is a gorgeous woman. She's in her 40s right now. She don't look that old. Dude, she's a gorgeous woman. Gorgeous. I think 44 years old, I think. She could be 44 years old, I think. 44, 45. I don't know how old she is. But how old she is doesn't matter. She's in her 40s. She look good. But not that good in the ring. Maybe it's because she was trying to hold back to make Sheeta look good. Or actually, she's a little rusty. Because she used to wrestle a lot better than that. And I'm not saying she's supposed to really look great in the ring. But she looked really more sloppy than she did the last time I saw her really go in the ring when she was in Impact Wrestling. I'm just saying. Of course, Sheeta beats her ass. And then you get the Britt Baker destroying her afterwards, and that is Sheeta. I still don't care about this. Because this is what makes me worry. We're going to have the 1-year anniversary soon for Sheeta, since she had the title from the time of the pandemic, when she won it against Riho. Guys, if Sheeta maintains this title after Double or Nothing, everything Britt Baker went through was for nothing. She must win at the pay-per-view to make this mean something. I'm not a huge Britt Baker fan. Yes, she's now gotten better on the mic. I still don't like her character, but there's no way you can deny that she has improved her mic skills and improved her in-ring work. She's improved it a lot. And I hand it to her. I just don't like her character. I'd rather still see her as a dentist trying to knock your bicuspids out of your mouth. But I can't take that away from her, and I won't. But if she does not win a Double or Nothing, this was stupid that they did all this with her and she gains nothing at a pay-per-view. I'm just saying. The match that was good but pissed me off. Red Velvet versus Selena Deeps. I'm not even going to say how the match was. There's no need to. You guys already seen it. It's a good match. Damn good. Selena Deeps was a lot more aggressive than normal because she's been gone for 3 months. She had laparoscopic surgery on her knee. She wanted to prove that she was good. But tell me, did anybody see NWA? You see, I'm mad. Anyone seen NWA Power, episode 28? I just released it before this. Did you see 27? I released that 2 weeks before. No video package for Selena Deeps coming back. Now, I know people say, dude, they just recorded it. It doesn't matter. They recorded it. Have you ever heard of editing it? Look, this video I'm producing right now, that you see my lovely 50-year-old face, can easily be edited. You can cut one piece open. In other words, you cut the video itself in half. You can insert something, and then you put the pieces back together, render it, in other words, produce the video, and then release it. You cannot tell me that Selena Deeps could not make a video package for NWA Power, saying that I, Selena Deeps, have now gotten healthy again, and I will be coming back to NWA Power soon. I'm going to prove that I am the greatest wrestler of NWA's history when I go over to AEW and I defeat Red Velvet. You can't tell me that William Patrick Corgan did not know about Selena Deeps going back to AEW because he had to be notified. Fuck you, NWA. Fuck you, AEW. And fuck you, Impact Wrestling. Now understand, I still love NWA. I still love Impact Wrestling. And I still love AEW. But I'm going to basically state what they're doing. They could have done a video package for NWA. She could have done it. They could have done it on Zoom. She could have done it. And don't tell me she couldn't have. They didn't. And AEW, I'm sure not involved in it. NWA probably is. And they could have gotten it. And they could have set up for when she could actually start appearing. They could have edited it ahead of time. So don't tell me they can't. They can. Anyone with a computer who has some editing software for videos could easily have edited it before it was aired on Fight TV, on the app, or on any television beforehand. So bullshit. She won. Let's move on. Ogogo versus Austin Gunn, who basically busted his gut because Anthony Ogogo gave him 2 shots to the gut. At one point, he got nailed by Gogo. Then, he got a second one. He spits in Ogogo's chest or face. Blood. Supposedly. In a pandemic society right now, where people get freaked out about getting anything in their face, like spit or coughing, they went there. I'm not saying that was a bad thing. Actually, it was a nice touch. We know Austin Gunn is fine. Billy Gunn's son. It's just they went there in a situation where you would not think they would go there. And they did. It was fine. I liked it. But what does this really mean for Anthony Ogogo? Would they push the guy being a middleweight who, basically a heavyweight who works like a middleweight? Will this guy be important to the company? Supposedly having such hands. Such hands. Such hands. I don't know. I could have gone like this, but I didn't want to hit my glass, my camera. That's why I went like this. I ain't taking no chances. This is over $400 worth of camera. I'm not going to fake hitting the camera and breaking my damn camera when I can't really afford to get a new one. I'm just saying. Okay. We got Miro coming out. And he says, well, guys, why? At Double or Nothing, Miro versus Archer now. Why? I do not agree with this. Why would you put Miro now? And he's supposed to be going after one of the major brothers from Top Flight. He's going after one of the brothers of Top Flight. Why now? Why? Excuse me. Why now? I don't get it. Why would you have him go up against Lance Archer now? Couldn't you wait until Full Gear? Couldn't you wait until at least a month or two with him having the title before you have him go up against the biggest monster other than himself? It makes no sense. Look, it's good they gave Miro the title, and I'm happy for him. But shouldn't he be allowed to go through a whole bunch of people first before you go for Lance Archer, who's the biggest monster there? No. Off the bat, they throw Lance Archer at him. I don't know about any other reviewer like myself. I don't know what just Alex is going to say. I don't know what Salomons is going to say. I don't know what JD is going to say. I don't know. Only thing I know is what I believe. And what I believe, this is way too soon. You need Miro to get some credibility. Why would you throw him up against the biggest monster so damn soon? Why? And the guy's name that is with JD is Jesse. I don't know why I couldn't remember. And it pissed me off that I couldn't remember and put it into this situation. Jesse was the only one that agreed with me when it came to what happened with Chris falling off the top of the Blood and Guts. I'm sorry, but you get my point. I don't agree with this. Anyone else may be fine with this. I am not. Flat out, it's stupid. It should not be happening now. Finally, and if I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry. The Bucks versus the Varsity Blondes. Now, the Varsity Blondes did get a nice video package talking about the thing is they didn't, how can I explain this? I did not see the video about Brian Pillman Jr.'s dad yet. I haven't seen it. I did see RVD, and I did see the one from Shawn Michaels. I have not seen that one yet. Haven't. I don't know if I'm going to totally watch it because that will probably agitate my anxiety. So I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it or not. But seeing that Brian Pillman Jr. is given this opportunity, and then we don't really see the rise of it, is bad. Because all the rise is on either Elevation or Dark, and that's the wrong thing. You're not showing anything from Elevation. You're not showing anything from Dark. You're not putting the Varsity Blondes on TV enough of Dynamite to really feel invested in them. The only thing that I care about when it comes to Brian Pillman Jr. with Brian Pillman Jr. and with Garrison, the thing that I remember is because I've seen Brian Pillman Jr. on MLW. That's why I know him. Because if I had not even seen MLW, I wouldn't even realize that Brian Pillman Jr.'s son was wrestling. They didn't give us nothing as a video package or a vignette or anything for Brian Pillman Jr. Nothing. It's blank, and that's a big mistake. So going into this match, which was a good match for what it was, Garrison did most of the heavy lifting at the end, and Brian Pillman Jr. did the beginning of it. Very good. They both looked decent. But in the end, I didn't expect them to win there. Of course they weren't going to win. And then after it was all over, you get to see that Moxley and King comes out and basically beats the crap out of them. And then puts them to sleep and then takes this knocks. If you don't know about this, because it does happen. Well, at least it used to. Years ago, and maybe a little bit now. When you get into a fight with someone, you knock that ass out, either in Brooklyn, Queens, or in the Bronx, particularly, counting on what part of the Bronx. When the fight is over, and they wiped out, and they're wearing some expensive sneakers, you steal the sneakers. Either, if they're messed up sneakers, or good sneakers, the messed up ones, you throw them up onto electric wires, and let them stay there, and they'll stay there for years. Or you steal the sneakers, and then you resell them. That usually would happen in New York. That happens. Luckily for me, I never ended up like that because I was never really that type of a kid or a guy to get into fights and stuff. I'm boring. But they stole their sneakers, and this is what we got for this show. Was it a good show? It wasn't bad, but Selena Deeps didn't do anything for NWA. No video packages for them. And if anyone says that was pre-recorded stuff, bullshit. They could have known when she was going back to NWA, either on Dark or Elevation. They could have asked her, or even talked to Tony Khan to do some, if it was necessary, to do vignettes. So NWA would have some type of content, so when they get back onto regular television, or in basic sense, Fight TV, they would have something for Selena Deeps. And for Camille, as well as Thunder Rosa, because they got nothing. Nothing. I did my episode 28 review, and there was nothing for Selena Deeps. Nothing. No vignettes. No video packages. Nothing. She was not mentioned. They fucked up in NWA. And then if AEW had to be involved in it, they fucked up as well. And since we didn't see no Moose, no, calm down, no Moose, no Rick Swann, no Eddie Edwards, no Sami Callihan, no Fire and Desire, no Fire and Flavor, not Fire and Desire. That's the team I created for my animation. No Fire and Flavor, no Jordan Grace, no one. Fuck them all. But I still love NWA, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. I still love them all. I will always review them, and I will tell you an honest opinion, but until they do it right, I'm going to bash them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment below, and I will be doing my Impact Wrestling review tomorrow, and I will shit on them the same way. Peace.